Everyone. Anybody new here today?
Uh, which my
Oh, Sergio?
Sergio? Yeah.
Did anyone check Sergio's papers before they let him in?
No, we do it afterwards.
All right, Sergio. Well, you're in already. All right. How did you hear about us?
Here I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
How did you hear about the Zen Bitch Lab?
I met you on YouTube. Okay. I was searching about non-duality because previously I was following teachings from Nisargadatta Maharaji and Ramana Maharshi and Amanda Majima. They were speaking about non-duality, and then here I am.
Oh, great.
Fortunately.
How you're going to leave that lofty area with those folks and come down onto the dog shit awareness. Yeah. All right. Well, nice to meet you, Sergio. Yeah. We have Kenneth and Richard H. and Janine and Stuart, Gary, Zoe, Mike, Chris, and John. Let's see if anyone else. Oh, there's some more folks. There's Tommy H. Johannes from Germany. We got David W. David Boaz. Nice to meet you again, Boaz. I'm not going to say H's name because I blew it once, but she knows it. We got Holly A. Lucas, Roman. Nice to always see Roman. Mike C. Brian, a couple other folks. So it's just pouring into the Zoom. We got Mario. There he is. Mario is getting ready, doing some exercise and stretching out. Anith, yeah. This was this was yoga. We'd just stay in the dead man's pose. Yeah, that would what we do for the hour. Everyone lay down, go to sleep. All right, so uh, I'm just going to give a background as the action figure. Let's say when I first heard non-duality, this idea, because it's sort of mixed into the Course in Miracles. It's there also because they would say this is the mistake that needs no correction. So obviously, implying the mistake doesn't have a reality that would demand a correction. It's just the mistake is just an appearance, a misseeing, a misperception. And when the underlying conditions that bring about that misperception change, then you have a clear perception, which is just seeing blue as blue and red as red, and seeing what comes before or sensing that in what comes after, instead of being confused that the after is being implied to be before. Yes? Oh, there. Oh, wait a minute. A very important person just came in. She's changed her name, but she's Deepta now. Wow, there she is, a good friend who we never met. So uh, the first thing I ever heard was a lady that was from East Europe. What was her name? She spoke very low. I couldn't even hear what she said. She should never have spoke outside. Couldn't even hear what she said, but I felt a whole lot just in that space. Yeah. And then I went to a couple of meetings with her inside, so you could hear her a little bit. But it was obvious the thoughts weren't, or the words weren't the message. And so that triggered a train of circumstances that started bringing me to a book by Ramesh Balsekar, a guy who's passed away. He was a driver at one time for Nisargadatta Maharaj and a translator and stuff. And he wrote a book, Who Cares? I was reading that book and it was stopping my head quite a lot, or the head, not mine. And I really liked those pauses, you know, it's just that you would read a certain word and it would be like a dog when they don't understand, like this. My whole head went, what? Because I didn't know I was formatted already. I could only see sort of one way when I met anyway, yeah. And so that was starting to, you know, do something. I would stop, and it wouldn't mean you would stop and then move to the next sentence. You would stop. You would stop and let that whatever hit you. And then that got me interested in it. Then I went to see some people. Some people I didn't like, and some people I liked. And I saw this one lady who had a baby with Papaji on the banks of the Ganges or something. You know, it's great. So she came, and I saw her in Berkeley nearby, and I really felt something there. Hey, Tommy. And one of the things I felt, which was clear, was I sat there and I shared. I said, you know, before I came in, I thought I was looking at the thoughts, the feelings, what was coming up in the body and stuff. But now, just being in the satsang, I saw that I that was claiming to be the looking of the thoughts wasn't I. It was a me, yeah, a manufactured me. That was pretty cool. So the aperture, hey bro, the aperture that I was sort of living almost like with a set aperture, a lot of this could change, but it never changed, you know? It was sort of like this. These things could change, but it was sort of basically saw it through the same little hole. Well, that aperture opened up. So now I saw what I used to call me as something other than what I am. Yeah, just like that. And so that was sort of like seeing the thief and then recognizing the policeman, which are two aspects of the same. So that opened up. And then I got motivated so much by it, I decided to fly to Bombay to see this guy, Ramesh Balsekar. And I started reading Ramana. And Ramana, the conversations or the talks of Ramana from like 36 to 1939 are full of a lot of different levels, yeah? He's speaking to people who just came in, and his advice to them would be to surrender. Then he would say on another day, well, who is there to surrender and to whom? Yeah, and then he would move around based on whoever was there, so to speak, yeah? But there were some incredible nuggets that would just stop you in your tracks, yeah? And the beautiful thing is when you get stopped in your tracks, something else is still there, yeah? So that you think is you gets stopped, and yet something's there, yeah? That's the beauty of satsang in a way. That's the beauty of these free samples, yeah? They whack something because when everything seems to be moving, you really don't know what's going on. But when that which is always moving stops and there's still something there, you must be that something there. Yes, obviously, because you didn't stop. When it got interrupted, you didn't get interrupted, yeah? When it sort of like was seen as the emperor with no clothes, you didn't get to be seen as the emperor with no clothes, finally. So now finally, you are seeing what you're not from what you are, which is, it may seem very minor, but because if it's applied to every situation, it grows into a huge influence. So I felt after, in hindsight, looking at all the attempts I got involved with in the spirituality realm of trying to find myself or get better or transcend or whatever, become the authentic whatever, or all that stuff was totally saddled with a false premise, which was I was trying to find what I was from what I'm not, yeah? I had no idea that was going on until I did, yeah? I thought, yeah, there was something that was the truth, and I may be a part of it, or like a drop of the ocean, but there was significantly, I had my own integrity, and I was going to merge into the larger integrity, let's say. Yeah, but then I was shown I'm just not that. I'm not that. So what occurs is then, instead of trying to find out about what you are or the truth from what you're not, you start seeing what you're not, and you find out about what you are. In other words, that presence that you can feel, I feel, is just attention and interest that's not being moved and directed every fucking second. It's something stops and it rests, and that's presence, you know? That same attention and interest, when constantly in the mode of seeking, yeah, the interpretations of presence then is, I'm going to look for presence. Yeah, I'm going to use presence to look for presence. Yeah, so I'm going to use what's still to and get it activated to find stillness. Yeah, yeah. So what happened is, so I went there, saw Ramesh. It was cool, you know. Then I went to Ramana's place, and this was funny because there's a lot of people that give satsang at Tiruvannamalai, yes? Like every December and January. And I wanted to go see them, and I wanted to stay at Ramana's ashram. I went to Ramana's ashram, and the head of the ashram asked me, well, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here to go to satsang with all these people. He says, you can't go to those satsangs and stay here. So I went, wait a minute. They have to give in talks with Ramana's picture on the fucking table with the flowers. And now the guy who runs the ashram of Ram Maharshi in Tiruvannamalai says, you can't stay here if you're going to those talks. What? So I found another ashram. That suspicion got in there. So wait a minute. So whatever. So then shit just, you don't let go, shit drops. Yeah, there's no letting go, because what drops is you think is part of you. So there's no part of you that can let go of a part of you, so to speak. That just drops. It drops. It's sort of like something that like that tumor we used to talk about, where the person has a tumor, a big one, on his left side, and he actually believes, without any real investigation, that the tumor is part of him, yeah, which it is in a way, but an essential part of him, yeah. In other words, there's no Paul without the tumor. So then Paul, living from that point of view, has to get a lot of shirts tailored and jackets and shit to take, to fit themselves around the tumor. And then he starts going to weird internet sites with women who have tumors on the other side. You're hoping to meet a woman who has a tumor on the left and yours is on the right, whatever. And you live in this life, with this idea, this tumor, fitting yourself around the tumor. And then someone drops an incredible idea on you. Hey, you could have that tumor removed. It wouldn't be the death of you. So you would think, okay, that sounds great, but what am I going to do with all these tailored clothes? You know what I mean? The head has a huge investment in all the shirts. And the girlfriend, what am I going to do if I'm tumorless? I think it's going to affect the relationship. So the head has a huge, wait a minute, this doesn't sound like a solution because I got all this stuff. But see, this is the dilemma. The head thinks it's of the tumor, yeah. It can't picture a life without the tumor because it thinks the tumor is Paul, is the whole thing. It does see the possibility, that's its base of anxiety, but it doesn't want you to see that possibility. So, okay, that was sort of like what satsang was with me, yeah. It's understandings that they got brought into stark contrast a lot of misunderstandings that I had no idea. I thought they were well-earned, sculpted from experience, from clear perception, but no, they were misunderstandings because they always had me at the center of all the understandings. I was the one who was going to know truth. I'm the one that doesn't know truth. Yeah, I'm the one who put myself in this situation. I'm the one that's going to get me out of the situation. Yes, it was all me, 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 me. Suddenly, I finally had another way of looking at things, and it works. Yeah, it just works, and it's been working in its own little way since I heard satsang, because there was a point where everything that I was doing that in one way you would think was an accompaniment to satsang, by hearing satsang, I saw those things were a deterrent, yeah? They were actually at a state of being of disservice. So just everything just stopped, yeah? And even going to see people who gave satsang stopped, yeah? And then I was truly left with my own devices because, see, if something keeps desiring and reaches out to grab and is given something to grab, it reinforces the grabbing, yes? And no matter how many times you don't get what you were hoping to get, the grabbing has an idea that if I could only grab better, or if I could only find the right thing to grab, it would work. But no, you've got to be left with these devices and see they're not yours. Yeah, you're not the one that one is the driving of seeking. Yeah, you're fueling it. You're the energy it uses. You're the light it sees through or directs, but you're not doing it. Yeah, that's the great news. You finally get a relief that you can never get as a you. You get a relief from a you. Yeah, the burden of thinking everything is based on me and what I do and what I did and what I'm gonna do is lifted. And in a way, it felt like Paul, once I got sort of right in life by getting sober, what became an urban renewal project. The opposite dualistic move from realizing how bad I was try to be good. Yeah. So basically, the thief was noticed and put in his place. Now the policeman took over the neighborhood, and then perfection showed up. And I've got to, sit there, check out my back, and keep the chin in, and, looking, whatever. Everything was just way too much. To me, it was forms of obsession with self in the pursuit of trying to get out of self. It's insane. So basically, you know what I mean? This shit was revealed and it was kept getting revealed. And what are you going to do? I would just step out of the spiritual pants. I would not pull them up anymore. Just step out of them. Yeah. They don't fit. They just don't fit. They're for two legs. They're a dualistic expression in most cases. There's a you that's going to do something to get to a bigger you. Yeah. This is not the message here. This is the message is you're going to get nothing. Yeah, you can't experience this. You can't have it. You can't lose it, which is nice. You can't understand it. You can't know it because you are it. Yeah, that's basically the premise that non-duality is based on. Yeah, the interest is in duality. The premise is that you are what you're looking for. And from there, we are now going to look at duality and negate it. Not intellectually, not through an understanding, but through the vision of what we are. Yeah, we are going to see the duality of what we're not from what we are. Yeah, we won't need intellect. You won't hope to have an experience from it. You'll realize the greatest gift of nothing by having it be just that, nothing. Yeah. So the reason why you can't know it is you are it. The reason why you can't experience it is you are it. The reason why you can't understand it is because you are it. You can study everything, but you can't study that which is studied. You cannot do it. You can't get behind what's before, which is awareness. Yeah. There's no way you are going to get behind awareness and see awareness. And finally, I've realized awareness. It's not going to happen. You are awareness. Yeah. You'd have to be something else to get behind it. So, yeah, so here we come on Saturdays, Wednesdays, whenever days. And this is what happened. I heard this, I got stuck on this thing with Ramana. He wrote once, I think, in his own dialect, but a lot of people wrote about his teachings, yes, who had been with him for years. And I would run into this one statement that was said in a lot of different ways, but it always had a huge emphasis, like the problem, the greatest mystery, so it seemed I figured you got to put a little attention on this because it's packaged in, this is it, yeah. And so the conceiving of this idea that this non-existent thing is existing, and then wanting to get salvation for the non-existent thing, yeah? Which predicates that if this is the case, which he was assuming it is the case, by saying this is the problem, yeah? Your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing this non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? So for me, a lot of satsangs became like spiritual shoe stores. I walked in, I listened, they presented some shoes, I put them on, and if they fit, wear them, yeah? And so this one really had an impact. I've never not changed the impact. That's why I speak of it. I don't read this every day. I feel it every day, and I'm motivated to share from there, yes? I don't have it underlined in a book. I had this book by Ramana Maharshi, and I went in Europe and I had to take Ryanair somewhere, and Ryanair has an incredible policy. You've got to be at least, you can bring only like 2 kilos or 2 pounds of shit. So I actually ripped the important pages out of the book and just took those pages. And one of the pages I took had this on it. And it's again, there's a presupposing. What does pre mean? It means before, yes? What is before and after? It's of time, yes? Pre, yeah? Or pro would be before, after, preamble, prologue, yeah? Something is before, something's after. Where's there before and after? It's in time. That's how you see space and time. You see space as something before, something after. Yeah. So the presupposing. So supposing is like I do, I suppose or I assume that a store is open, and then I drive there and it's closed and I'm sort of bummed out. But I didn't know the store was open. I just assumed it was, yeah? I didn't make a call. I didn't look it up on the internet. I said, no, I know it's open. And then I drive there and it's not. And this happens many, many times. So there was an assumption that the store was open. And when I got there, the store ain't open, yeah? Yes? So here the presupposing of what? A non-existent thing. Yeah. What is that? Let me see. Wait a minute. Let's just take a wild guess. What could be the non-existent thing? Oh, the body. Yeah. What? Yes. So the presupposing, you're not doing it. You're not doing the presupposing. There's a presupposing of a non-existent thing being what? Existing. Yeah. Listen to the head. The head believes, as there was a great Zen master, Huang Po, that put it very clearly, whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. Now all right, leave that and go into your head and just listen to a minute of the narrative up there. What is that narrative up there based on? That which can be perceived, the thing, is what's perceiving. Yes? That's the fundamental root. Yeah? So that which can be perceived is perceiving. No. You're off. You don't get the third door, nothing. You're off, right? So But so this presupposing a non-existent thing is that which is perceived. Yeah? What's perceiving that is the animation or the awareness or consciousness, whatever you want to imply, but you're not implying a thing. Yeah? So the seeing, so there's the presupposing of this non-existent thing as being an existent thing, which is how is it gets reinforced. The narrative of the head keeps saying you're the seer and you're pictured as a body. You're the hearer, which is all perceiving, yes? Perceiving sound, perceiving this. You were just in the classroom of Huang Po. He just said to you, whatever can be perceived can't be perceiving. So the perceiving is the hearing. The perceived is the hearer. The hearer is not hearing. Same thing. Yeah. The perceived is the hearer. The perceiving is the hearer, is the seeing. The perceived is the seer. The perceiving is the seeing. Yeah. Yeah. The seer is not the seeing. Yeah. And the seer is not the seer. The seeing is not the seer. Yeah. The seeing stands alone. There's an add-on by the activity the seeing to imply the seer. That's just basically the non-existent thing now becomes existing, seemingly, and now wants to get salvation for itself. That could mean getting a happy meal. That could mean something fucking else. But it wants to get stuff for that. Yeah. If this is the case, just see if it is. Your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? See, I had seemingly no choice after getting run over by the car. Couldn't get up. We just like to have you have the same attitude. Just say fucking down. Let the message run over you. Yeah. And then be done with it, really. Presupposing a non-existent thing. Paul. Paul was made up and reinforced in time. It's manufactured. It comes after, yeah, the existence. The existence is taken to be a non-existent thing. And now the non-existent thing is being, the fuel of the non-existent thing is the existence, but the non-existent thing wants to get salvation for itself. Yeah. If it saw itself as existence, it would be saved already. Because the salvation from the non-existent thing is inherent. It doesn't exist. So you don't have to battle to get salvation from an imaginary condition, do you? It's a non-existent thing. It doesn't have to be killed, vanquished. It's not going to resurrect. It's not coming back. It's not like Halloween 8 or whatever, fucking Friday the 13th. Yeah. It's non-existent thing. Very clear. Okay. If you don't see that, your spiritual practices themselves are being used to reinforce the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? Yeah. I think this is an underlying question to ask about all spirituality, really. Where is the spirituality beginning from? Is it coming from the perceiving or the perceived? I would say it's the perceived that believes it's perceiving. Yeah. And then it enters spirituality to find salvation for that which we're not. So suddenly there came a solution to that solution, which was non-duality. Let's negate this motherfucker so it doesn't keep on propagating, going on and on and on and on and on. You are what you're looking for. That should do it. Well, no, it didn't. Because you see the reflection of you as a lion, thinking you were a sheep for years with the lion in the pond at the fucking waterhole. But then you walk away in time from the waterhole after having this incredible revelation. And in 2 or 3 seconds, the sheep programming is kicked in. And now the sheep program says, I just had an incredible lion experience. I'd like to have more lion experiences with the sheep programming safely entrenched as you. Yeah. So what happens after you see that reflection? What happens when you leave the waterhole and you leave the presence of the older lion? You need an understanding to watch what happens, because if you don't, you're going to be looking from it, yeah? So that, which wasn't even, it was a free sample of you as the product, that revelation. You are, in that example, a lion. You never were a sheep, and you're never going to be a sheep. No matter how long you thought you were a sheep, you were never a sheep. No matter how short a period of time you thought you were a sheep, you were never a sheep. You were a lion from beginning and end, yes? But that doesn't work, because once you get that and you think you understand it, something claims that understanding and reinforces the sheep with it. So now the sheep has an incredible understanding that it's a lion, living all the day as a sheep. Yeah. Super clear about everything else but that. Yeah. So, yeah, this is what satsang did with me. I just came, I heard. You know, fucking shit dropped. And I saw all that movement as not me, by seeing it not from me, but from what I am. Yeah, so there you go. That's why we're here, basically. Every freaking day I do a Zoom is probably the basic point, is to put out this message, because I was fucking surprised. I had no idea there was a claiming of what was going on and replacing this with a this that was made, yeah? And I saw it at an extreme level in addiction, because to hear that I thought I was in, which was a mental here, I would do anything to get out of it for a second. All the while, it was a mere appearance in the everlasting here. And what I was looking for was all around me. I was surrounded as it. Yet I wasn't seeing it looking through these glasses of self-centeredness. And the more I tried to perfect those lenses, the more they just reflected the one behind the glasses, this idea of Paul. Yeah. So when I got to be very noble in my spiritual practices, it cast a huge reflection. It did. I got a whole new stature. Yeah. Same. So hey, there you go. Anyone have anything they'd like to say?
Raise your hand if you want to activate the stillness.
Don't worry, it won't do it. Hand, a leg, an arm, nothing.
Except a Happy Meal. Don't get a Happy Meal. Stuart has his hand up.
Do it. Stuart, yes.
You're muted, Stuart.
And make sure before you have a question, you've swallowed the food you have in your mouth. All right, please. Let's have some manners here. This isn't like a satsang event. A little, wait a minute, the avocado, the guacamole stuff. Oh, can you talk about no self? No. I'm not a performing animal. No. For the money. But yes, go, Stuart.
Paul, there was absolutely no food. There was a big question in there, and that's what I was trying to swallow, you know?
You swallowed it, good.
Good, yeah. No, I want to talk, I will share actually about when you were talking a little while, sometimes you talk about it, not like it's not really the questions or the answers, it's the transmission coming through in a sense.
Well, yeah. Well, there's the transmission. Sometimes you can't recognize the transmission as your inherent state without a transmission.
Yeah.
So there's the radio signal isn't coming from any source other than, everywhere.
Yeah. I just noticed the other week there when I was on one of the meetings, I wasn't feeling really, too sort of bubbly or yeah, usually I can feel pretty good sometimes, a lot of the times actually. Well, who's feeling that? But anyway, but I came away from that and it had sort of flipped, like really obviously flipped from being like pretty to like I'm laughing and stuff like that. So it was really obvious seeing that.
Yeah. Well, that's good that it's obvious to you.
Yeah,
As
and
really, yes.
and,
Yeah.
and to my wife as well, you know.
Yes. Well, the beauty thing too is you're like the open secret is everyone's in on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm.
always available at all times. So these are the ways that it sort of gets fortified. You start
Yeah,
recognizing stuff that seem to go unrecognized. Yeah, because you
yeah,
stop, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And for me, this yeah, body, mind, whatever, it's like there's a real greater chillness around lots of things that wasn't there before.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Mm.
Good signs. Yeah. We
Yeah,
do
so
a play of words in we do a play of words in recovery. In a meeting of recovery, they usually ask the person who spoke to bring about a topic. Yeah. So I
mhm.
always bring up the topic symptoms of your recovery. Hey, how
Mm.
are you? Symptoms of your recovery. Yeah. So
Yes,
most
yeah,
people don't think they think symptoms more about a disease. So
yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes. And that's funny because I've been looking at the recovery videos as well, which I really like. I've been a wine drinker for a long time. I maybe it is alcoholic. I'm not sure, but yeah, I would be having like 3 wines with my meal or something, all good, all good, and then it got into it pretty much every night. But now that sort of went for me, like about 2 months ago. And I'd never been to an AA meeting, but it just went about 3 months ago. And now I'll pull out a cup of wine or a glass. No, yeah, it's like a little cup of wine, get my meal happening. And the wine's still sitting there at the end of the meal. And what I think was happening was, this is not a non-duality thing, I don't think, but yeah, no, doesn't matter. No, but yeah, so that just went, you know.
Yeah, and so how do you see something went by it was through loss of interest, yeah?
Yes,
And
yes,
it's obvious that you didn't lose interest. There
no,
was a loss of interest, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because if you try to lose interest, that could be construed as interest. Yeah,
yes, for sure. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I didn't try to lose it at all. It's just not
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's beautiful. That's what happened with me getting struck sober. You know, that radioactive isotope was removed, and that urge, that interest that was all consuming, was a loss of interest. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
instead of the prairie dog just, put out its head and went back in, I didn't go back in.
yes,
And I
yeah,
realized how life was completely unmanageable. Everything else was very heavy. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
But
it's a bit crazy for me because I got the body was involved a little bit in one sense of, you know, I went on this 1 meal a day thing for about 4 years or something, and and what I found was happening, instead of having a meal when I felt hungry, I'd be having a wine for the sugar hit.
yeah. A
So it
lot of
was
people
crazy.
who are I know who are drunks are on that diet without really going on
Yeah,
that diet. They don't eat once a day
yeah,
because they're
but drink
drinking.
5 times.
God, yeah, they're drinking a lot.
Yeah, for the damn sugar. You
That would
know?
be a nice way to present it. I'm on a one. I only eat once a day because I'm drinking like a fish.
Yes.
That would put a nice spin on the problem. Yeah, so
Yes, yes.
I have incredible control. I only eat once a day.
Yeah, and I don't think it would sell well as a health advice. You know, 1 meal a day is good
Yeah.
for you.
I'm drunk by 12.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I forget about lunch completely.
yeah. But it's funny, it's good to meet you.
Great. What a diet. Yeah. Nice to see you, Stuart.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Paul, and thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. We're having a Zoom. Yes, yeah. See that? Yeah, there's some of the folks. Yeah. Now these people are primary importance. You guys are secondary. Yeah. It's like a pay scale. So if you don't get any questions, they get as many questions as they like. Anyone else on the Zoom have any questions?
So next week the room will be empty.
Everybody will be on Zoom.
On Zoom, yeah.
Especially with gas prices, it's crazy.
There you go, yeah.
There you go.
Anyone?
It's like every day, it's $1 more.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
All right, well, anyone have a question in here? Tommy? No. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you, yeah.
I've been liking Ravana more lately.
Someone here says he liked to put a thumbs up. He's been liking Ramana more lately. All right.
Thumbs up. But being me,
There's a
I'm finding
Gadada.
that a lot of people don't really understand what the fuck he was talking about.
Oh, yeah, well, he's speaking on a lot of different levels, to a lot of different people.
And then people like to pick their own level and say that's it, that it's really, that was kind of the point, it's how wonderful it was. You can speak directly to whatever a person.
Yeah.
There were times he took that he did that. There were other times he just stayed silent. The other times he didn't do that, you know. But the point is he had that ability to cover a lot of ground depending on who was coming from.
Yeah. What levels, level confusion.
Yeah.
He wasn't confused about levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, one of his absolute statements is, who is going to surrender and to whom?
Right.
And then he would talk about surrender as there's only basically two things to do: self-inquiry or surrender. And then thy will is done. That was his pretty much. So when he met people, he would talk, he basically could tell sort of what they were more drawn to. And all right, so you don't, like a lot of people in recovery, there's a statement in the program recovery, one of the steps, which is seek to improve one's conscious contact, with this power. So, but it says seek through meditation and prayer to improve one's conscious contact. They're just two suggestions. That it doesn't say the only way you can improve conscious contact is through meditation and prayer. And yet some people get stuck on that, and they're not meditating types. They're very anxious, their head can't stop, shit like that. They can't sit for 3 minutes, and then they feel like, oh, I only got one leg to stand on, prayer. But no, the whole point is to improve the conscious contact. How about realizing you are the conscious contact? I would say that would improve it, yes? In other words, you wouldn't need modalities to improve something that is a natural condition that you're in. You're in conscious contact, yeah? Is it effort to see shit during, maybe you can't see far because your eyes are bad. Yeah, isn't bad, yeah? What's isn't demonstrating any, what's he isn't demonstrating any thought, yeah? So what would happen is if you are conscious contact, wouldn't that be a natural way of improving it, is being it, yeah? Do you see? So one level, people can hear it that way. Another level, they have to hear about prayer and meditation, yes? Doesn't mean when you hear it about prayer and meditation to improve your conscious contact, you're gonna constantly stay at that level. You're gonna move around, not you, but the head, yes? And so at one point, that makes sense. Then another point, it doesn't make sense anymore. So if you keep doing prayer and meditation, you're actually denying the state that you're in right now, which is the consciousness contact. So you don't need to improve any contact. You are the contact, yes? So it matters where you seem to be. So some people, like they're hearing the message, there is no house and there is no person and there's no fire. And someone finds himself in a situation where the house they're in is on fire, they're super hot and they're chanting, well, there is no house, there is no fire, there's no me. That's not working. They're gonna get their ass burned, yeah? What they need is a pail of water to put out the fire, yes? And then maybe an understanding, you know, why are there so many fires where you are? Maybe you're the fire starter and hence you're not the fire starter, yes? So, yeah, you deal with one level and then the other opportunities open up. If you try to have like a Pharisee, you know, like a Pharisee, a fundamental view that this is the only way, it doesn't work, yes? You have to be able to be flexible. When the action figure is like flipping out, you don't want to sit alone by yourself trying to figure it out. You watch Bloodline or something on Netflix. You distract the head because no matter what you're saying, the shits still see the flies still see the shit. They're not leaving. You can't say there's no shit. The flies don't see it. So you have to, okay, distract, do something, be of service, yeah, get out of it. And then you come back, you can rest again in that state. This whole thing of if you understand the level that you're not living in at that second, yeah, that understanding makes a lot of shit black and white that isn't black and white. So now the body is the enemy, you know, I'm not the body. Yes, it goes to absurd lengths. The fact is, the only thing that wants to say it's not the body is the body identification. Yeah? What you are has no problem with bodies, yeah? The problem comes when it's your body, yeah? Yes? So this whole thing, this idea, I've met so many people in recovery with it. Well, I can't meditate and talk, you know, I don't think I believe in the prayers or whatever. So what? The whole point is to improve one's conscious contact. It's not to become a master of meditation or prayer. That's a possibility, a way of improving, but the point is improving. How more can you improve a conscious contact that you already are? Yes? So a spiritual condition it's not like a mental physical condition that can get better and worse. A spiritual condition is a spiritual condition. It doesn't have any other conditions applying their effects on it, yes? But we act as if a spiritual condition is something I'm having as a physical mental condition. And therefore the spiritual condition is seen as to be as unreliable as mental and physical conditions, which it isn't. Yeah, it's all about having shit cleared up. It's about hearing satsang and watch how much the misunderstandings that you seem to hold true or that you rest in it. And first of all, you see you're not that which rests in it. Yeah, that's the beauty. But those misunderstandings have more value seeing them as misunderstandings than a new understanding about something you don't really need to understand because you are it. Yes? The understanding would be a disservice at a point because you are it. You don't need to understand. Yeah. What you need to understand is what you're not. Yes.
It's like reading a book, start at the last page. And when you do that, you start going back and then it really becomes tiresome. You don't have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Of course not. Exactly.
Start with the end and then see what happens.
Well, the basic thing is you see what you're not, which is the end, instead of it's always saying it's the beginning, but it's the end. It comes after, yeah? And then by seeing it from what actually is before, you see it exactly as what it is, which it ain't. It ain't you. But it's implied to be before everything. So now you're looking for yourself as something after this idea of self. Yeah. Your search, that's why St. Francis says, what's looking is what we're looking for. Yeah? That's a pretty incredible statement to assume that he knows that everything that everyone's ever looking for is truly what's looking. I mean, that's an incredible clarity. What's looking is what you're looking for. Yeah. Could you imagine if you had the ears that seemingly Nisargadatta had when he heard it from his guru, and you had it and you heard that from St. Francis, what's looking is what you're looking for, it would induce a large amount of traveling lighter, because you would give up a lot of shit. You wouldn't, but a lot of shit that's based on looking for what's looking would drop, obviously. You wouldn't let it go because you're not holding on to it. It would drop. Its essentialness would be realized as not essential and drop. That's the traveling lighter. Yeah. The traveling lighter is a lot of shit can be thrown off the fucking air balloon. Yeah, it's not essential. Yeah. You call it you a lot, but you now seen it as not you, and there it goes. You think you're getting thrown off the balloon. Yes, seriously, but you're not. It's getting thrown off the balloon. Yeah, and isn't that what you want, traveling lighter? You'll find out that's not what that thing wants. That wants it. It wants it if it's there. If that which is heavy can be in the experience of traveling lighter, it will sign up every day. But it doesn't want to admit that it's the heaviness that's causing all the desire for traveling lighter. So, hey, yeah. Anyone else have a question, anything? Share.
No hands. Oh wait, Sarah's showing her hand. Deepthi.
Which one is it? Is it Sarah or Deepthi?
Oh, Deepti's my old Amma name from years ago, Paul. So Sarah's fine. I don't mind either.
All right. Well, we're not going to take any questions from Deepthi.
Okay, fine. No, I'll put it back to Sarah. But it's funny you say about the traveling lighter, because that's exactly what was on my mind about. It's almost like a paradox. It feels like if you care about traveling lighter, you're not going to be traveling lighter.
Yeah. Yes.
When the action figure forgets about traveling lighter, then you're traveling lighter, it feels almost.
Yes.
And now I'm, the action figure, for a few months, I've been way more in the kind of family situation with a lot of beings that see me as a sheep, let's say, or they see the Sarah action figure. It's like every time I go anywhere, it's like, you are a sheep, you are a sheep, you are a sheep. And I don't know if the traveling lighter, it's sometimes there's a lot of triggering, and it's easy mentally for me to say, but you're not the action figure, nobody gets it and then loses it. Of course I know all of the kind of words, but it still feels like the traveling lighter gets traveling a bit heavier.
Well, of course it will, because in duality, it has both sides of the same coin. But the point is, most of the time, heads will be up instead of tails. Yeah? So the heaviness will be lighter and it won't have as long duration.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
You saw a graph, it's not black or white. It's not like traveling heavy, traveling lighter. It's like a graph. Yeah, and now your pattern is staying in the zone of traveling lighter. Like if you look at foreign exchange, like look at the euros. So look at euros to the dollar. So you see the date, today's date, what they're saying. But then you look at a graph for the last 2 years, and then you can see, wow, yeah, the euro has gone down against the dollar. Yeah, it's a trend going. Now, you won't get that feeling if you just see the 1 day. You think it's 95 cents to $1 euro. Yeah, but it could be going up or down if you only see the 1 day. You don't know the trend. Yeah, but if you just see a bigger picture, you'll realize, geez, yes, I've been traveling lighter because I haven't been reviewing those pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's back to the funny thing of it feeling like a process, even though there's something for which there's no process whatsoever.
No, its expression here is a process.
Okay.
What it is isn't a process made by one or arrived at by one. But
Yeah.
in this dreaming, in the time, in day-to-day stuff, it seems like it's a process. The effects, definitely. But that's not, the process is not, that's the expression of that. It's not the movement of that. That's how it expresses in dreaming. You travel lighter.
Yeah. Thanks,
Like the
Paul.
Course in Miracles would say, you and I are the dreaming of the dream. We're going to dream ourselves out of here, and as we do, the dream will get happier. Yeah, so that's sort of, is the dream getting happier? Is that it? No. Is it an expression of it in time? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Nice
Yeah.
to see you after some time.
Yes, nice to see you, Sarah. Yes,
Thanks, Paul.
always a pleasure. Yeah.
Thanks,
Anyone
Sarah.
else?
Good to see you.
Thanks, Mike.
I don't see any other hands.
Oh, great. All right, well, you want to, did I do my hour allotment? Is James here?
Close. Oh, 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes, all right. Two
Well, I
more
can
minutes.
comment
Well,
that
we'll take that up with the goodbyes.
I like Sarah bringing that up because you know that comment about absence, noticing by absence, and then I noticed how that was actually more like a warning because as soon as you're even noticing that you noticed by absence, you're thinking about it. You're looking at the graph again, right? So it's that appreciation of not having to look at the graph, but yeah, so noticing that which says, oh, I'm the one that noticed by its absence, but no, it's like no, I'm not that one either. That kind of thing.
Yes,
So
yes.
that appreciation of not looking at the graph, but you can't help
Yeah.
it if you've looked at the graph just now. So
Well, that's how it works here in a weird way. You, by having a sense of what you're not, a tangible sense of it, there's an intimation of what you are. Yeah? In a weird way, the expression of that is not a direct path. The expression of that is through negation. There's a negation of things, and then there's the sense of no thing. Yeah? Instead of trying to produce a sense of no thing from thing, you see the absence of things, and then there's an intimacy of no thing. Yeah? How else would you get it here? It's almost like a billiard game. You have to hit the 8 ball by hitting one of the bumpers. You can't hit it directly. Yeah, you got a bing, bing. Yeah, so there's a negation and then there's an affirmation. Yeah, the affirmation isn't something stating anything. It is. Yeah, so there's a negation and there you go. Yeah, yeah.
oh, and Bruce F is going to take us into the next hour.
This is the next hour.
Whole hour, but he'll take us into the next hour.
The next hour could be 1 minute. Let's see.
Exactly.
Well, no, the thought popped up. Process the possession, following the possession of time. Process as a possession. Like a parade. You're on the sideline. Anyway, I just wanted to jump in and say hello to everyone and how much I appreciate everything. It's been a joy.
Oh, great, Bruce. Nice to see you, man.
But rather than seeing it as a process that I'm apart from, in a sense, I'm just following the possession of time, or I'm in it. Anyway, see you all later.
You're actually been following it. There's something moving you. Yes. No, there's a no thing moving you in the procession of time. Yeah. Yeah.
So does time grab our attention? I struggle with that.
The time.
Yeah.
Who struggles with it?
I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you come into coffee?
Who's coming to coffee? I'm going to coffee. Who's gonna pay?
Bruce on first.
Hey, let me say hello to everyone. Bruce, nice to see you, man. Your origin was Rockville Center, yes? In this procession of time.
Yes, we have the same origin.
Wow.
Or we share the same origin.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
All I do is laugh. So that's why I got to stay muted, and I don't want to be seen this way.
He went out with a laugh. That's good.
Laughing Square.
The Laughing Squares. That would be a good band. The Laughing Squares. In the world of Zoom, the Laughing Squares. That's pretty good. All right, Mike. Nice to see you, bro. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna be up there. We bought the ticket and everything. Yeah.
My new neighbor is from origin is from Rockville Center.
Wow. Jesus. Make
Yep,
sure I
neighbor.
don't owe him any money. Before we leave. All right. Hey, Stuart, nice to see you, bro. Yeah. I like that one meal a day diet.
All you can drink.
That's if I.
Buffet.
This is before I present the 1 meal a day diet. The prerequisite is 3 bottles of wine before noon. I like that one. Yeah, yes. I was a breatharian. I did a lot of cocaine. No, you were a cocaine addict. No, I didn't have to eat at all for 7 days. All right, Janine.
Yeah, I'll just say quickly, Paul, that's what the longest fast I ever did in those days was like 30 days or something. The only thing I didn't give up was coffee and wine, mate.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. All right, Janine, Freedom. Nice to see you, Janine. Richard H., always a pleasure.
See you, Paul.
See you, Richard. Kenneth from Vancouver. There you go. We got Sergio. Nice to meet you, Sergio.
Thank you. Thank
I
you for
hope
sharing.
you come back, but I don't. I won't resent you if you don't.
And sorry, Paul. Can I make a question?
Yes, you cannot make. Yes, you're going to make a question. Yes, ask a question.
Thank you. And what about
Out of here.
traveling lighter? What about love? I mean, can you say,
What about love?
can you say something about that, please?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I can't hear them. They're having a love fest here. So, what can I say about love? I'd rather not say anything really.
Oh no.
It's too jam-packed full of meaning. Yeah. I'd rather leave it as an expression that you'll entertain or be entertained by than to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
And David W. Nice to see you. I like that. Very, very efficient, just a little raise. Yeah. We got Boaz. Where are you from, Boaz?
Israel.
Israel. Nice to see you, Boaz. And Chris, the man with the hat. There he is.
I got the time wrong.
You did Chris, you held
I missed
off.
the whole hour.
That's
I'm on the
cool.
East Coast. I got the times mixed up.
Oh, you did? Well, you didn't miss anything. Everything's cool.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
You too, Paul.
We got Otter R. Where are you from, Otter?
Tacoma area, Washington.
Oh, great. Nice to see you, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's funny. Otters, I picture otters in Washington a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
My
pretty
name's
good.
Josh.
What?
I'm Josh.
Josh?
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Josh. Nice to meet you. Brahmi, I was just thinking of Brahmi today. Brahmi, I was just thinking of you before I drove over here. I can't see you, but I appreciate you coming.
What were you thinking? I don't need to know. I just
Brahmi, that's all that came up. I went Brahmi. Yeah, seriously, because I missed you. Remember, I used to see you in the near the Ganges
Yeah.
in the Zooms, and then we lost. Then you moved to America, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing all right.
Life is interesting.
Yes, yeah.
Chinese curse.
I can't hear you there. Well, we're happy to have you, to see you again, Brahmi. Bill Churchman. Nice to see you, Bill. Roman from Germany, very nice. Stefan, on having never left. Mario, nice to see you, Mario. I'm gonna try it. Haley, S, yes? Haley.
Hallie, but close, close. It takes a dozen or so times, so we'll get there.
I have it before I go through about 8 Zooms and then it reverts back. Haley? Haley.
Hallie.
Howley. All right, I got it. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Same.
Yeah. There she is, Sarah again. Always a pleasure. Zoe. Nice to see you, Zoe. Anish. Kathleen, I don't see, but Lucas P. We got Christine. Nice to see you, Christine. She's outside under a tree. We've got some phone numbers. We got Chris G, Dave B. That's it. Hey, thanks. We're gonna be back east again, June 24th to I think the 30th. We'll be putting it up on the website soon. A number of them are gonna be based on recovery, but anyone can come. Yeah, and hopefully I can meet you, some of you live. And if not, we'll be back Tuesday. And it's all on the Zen Bitch Lab. And you know, if you're interested in going to that Italy retreat, you can still go. We have we have more than enough people, but we have room. So yes, come to beautiful Italy in September. All right. I'll see you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye, Paul.
Thank you.